PJ.
You gotta give me a countdown. Come on. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Chopping it up with
You
Cador.
gave me the thumbs up.
Oh yeah, I need this right here. That
Yeah.
three. Hey, all right, there we get that one. We good?
Yeah.
All right, we rolling this thing on. All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm coming. Pretty good.
He good? All right. Chopping it up with Cador. He's Roger Cador. I'm Perry White. Another episode of what? This is episode 4. We're rolling, so we're gonna make about a month now, Coach, as we getting this thing going.
It's really time really fly, doesn't it?
It does.
When you're having fun.
Is this what you having? You having fun with me?
Well, I'm saying I am.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Y'all see Coach got his cowboy hat on day, so I had to go get his hat day in the studio, so I couldn't let him do me like that, you know. Coach, tell me the story about that hat.
That hat came from Ecuador.
Mm-hmm.
In 2018, I went down to Ecuador,
Mm-hmm.
and I liked this hat, and I bought it. I bought several other hats. I have hats from Colombia,
Uh-huh.
which really are colorful hats, and Panamanian hats. So I try. I bought some from Peru.
Uh-huh.
So I try to get something whenever I go to those different places.
So with your tall stature and you put that hat on, I'm pretty sure you probably throw your shades on. You walk around, you look like the boss.
I don't consider myself that, but I only, I didn't wear the hat in Ecuador.
Uh-huh.
I bought it and wore it only here in the United States.
Okay.
So it's no way someone is gonna mistake me for a boss here.
Hey, I like it. It look like I'm about ready to hit a trail ride with you today. You go to trail rides?
Rode a horse once in my life. Don't intend to ride it again.
What was up with that? You wasn't feeling the bumping and the yeah.
I grew up on the farm, but I'm far from a farm guy.
Yeah, you think more city guy? More.
Well, I'm not gonna say city. I just didn't like, the roughness of it.
Yeah.
But the farm taught me a good lesson. Taught me to value hard work and how you can use your hand to be successful. And you had to use your mind also,
Mm-hmm.
because the work was very demanding. So you had to outsmart some things, use your mind to make it a lot more manageable.
There wasn't no excuses when you talk about survival as well.
No issues, it's survival, right?
Mm-hmm. Can you hear Coach really good? Is it good? All right. Let's jump into it. We talked about it last episode before we went out for the week, and a lot has transpired over the week because it's MLB. It's the playoffs. The brackets are set, and games have been played, and it started last week, and you and I had talked. You called me Tuesday and asked me, was I paying attention to a game? Game 1, the Braves and the Phillies. Of course, that was last Tuesday, October 11th. The Phillies getting the victory 7-6. Then game 1 of the Astros and the Mariners. The Mariners fell short in that game 8-7. Both those games, 1-run games. And then you look at game 1 of the Yankees and the Guardians. I keep wanting to call them the Indians, man. They are not the Indians. They're the Guardians. The Cleveland Guardians, the Yankees. I don't like them. This is for the record. I just want y'all to know I don't like the Yankees. But the Yankees won 4-1. And then game 1 of the Dodgers and Padres. California thing going on, right? Dodgers finding a way to get it done 5-3. That was on Tuesday. We move over to Wednesday, October the 12th, game 2 for the Braves and for the Phillies. The Braves found a way to pull it out. 3 runs. They won 3-0. Game 2 for the Dodgers and Padres. The Padres found a way to get past the Dodgers, 5-3. And we move to Thursday, the Astros and the Mariners on Thursday, October the 13th. The Astros getting the victory to 4-2 over the Mariners. And then Friday, the Yankees versus the Guardians. Cleveland found a way to get it done 4-2. We moved to game 3 of Philly and the Braves. Man, I was a little upset. I saw a lot of people talking about this game. The Braves were unable to get it done. Philly got past them 8-3. The Mariners and Astros, man, Mariners falling short. Long game.
Yes.
Long game. Astros get it done, 1 run. Especially with all those innings, you get 1 run in, 1-0. Game 3, the Guardians versus the Yankees. Cleveland's win 6-5. In game 4, Padres and Dodgers. San Diego finds another way to get past the Dodgers again, 5-3. And then yesterday, game 4, the Guardians and the Yankees. The Yankees found a way to get it done 4-2. And they got the victory. Tonight, Yankees and Guardians again at 7:00, Game 5. What you think in terms of so far as we've gotten up into this point?
Well, I got to think you have to make the Yankees a prohibitive favor because they're in Yankee Stadium. The fans are going to be wild. And, I just think that this is 4 games in 4 days. Just remember, they had that rain out and they didn't have a day off. So we just had to see how it goes. Now, I want to go back to the Astros because I know more about that series because I have inside information.
Astros and the Mariners, and the Mariners making the playoffs, I think, for the first time in about 20 years.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But they were really positioned. Prior to the playoff, Dusty told me, Dusty Baker, the manager, Seattle was the one team he didn't want to play right off the bat. And he said, the reason when they made the trade to get Castillo, he said, with those stables of arms, they're going to be difficult to beat.
Mm-hmm.
And he was correct in that they had some difficulties putting them away, even though they beat them 3-0. It wasn't easy as it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Mariners, if you look at the line scores in all of the games, you wouldn't think they would have won. If you ever looked at everything except that last line, runs.
Mm-hmm.
You look at everything else, they won on paper. The other thing is the analytic department.
We talked about that last show.
Well, it's mentioned quite often
Mm-hmm.
about analytics in baseball. If you listen to the games, the announcers talked about it. Bob Costas talked about it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing the Yankees Guardians game. In the Houston, there was some discussion based upon analytics,
Mm-hmm.
who should be in the lineup and where they should hit, based upon analytics.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty had to tell his side of the story as a manager, as a veteran manager who's got great feel for the situation and certainly for his players.
Mm-hmm.
Because instincts come into play. Analytics don't take into consideration instincts and experience and game day management.
Mm-hmm.
You just look at where guys hit the ball, where the pitcher throws it, and that's the legit of analytic. But Dusty was able to convince the analytic department to work with him on his lineup, and it paid dividend. The one person that was in big question was Pena, where he should hit in the lineup. Analytics say he should hit lower in the lineup. Dusty felt he should hit second in the lineup. And when he hit second in the lineup, all 3 games, he was the key. In game 1, he got the big 2-out hit in the 9th inning.
Mm-hmm.
That brought up Alvarez to hit the big 3-run home run. In game 2, he got the big hit again, a walk. And then that was the key to get the lead run. And certainly on Saturday, he hit the big home run in the 18th inning that won the game for the Astros. So analytics has played a big part. It has revolutionized the game of baseball. But this situation shows that we can't take out the human element of the game.
That's right.
The human element has to play a key role.
Because you can't factor in heart, you can't factor in that confidence, you can't factor in focus of that specific day. And, you and I have had conversations in terms of guys having hot streaks. You follow the numbers, you see the numbers, but you never know when those numbers will take a dive. And you may try to follow the analytics coming into this game because you see a constant level or you see an uptick. But you never know. You can't measure what a guy's dealing with off the field as well. You can't measure the mindset that a guy shows up to the stadium that day. That's when the human element comes in as a coach with experience, I think, that can then factor into that analytic side and say, okay, we've seen the uptick of this guy, but right now I know this guy and I've had conversations with him. Regardless of what you're telling me I should do today, I'm going to go with my gut because I've been doing this long enough to see. And plus, sometimes people have good days, sometimes people have bad days.
Oh, you fail. It's a game of failure. I'm going to go to a situation that happened with Alvarez during the course of the season, toward the end of the season. He was not himself. And I'm giving you privileged information. People who are listening getting some really good information that regular people would never get. Dusty calls him in the office and talked to him and told him, listen, I'm going to set you out for a few days. Give your hand a chance to rest because he had bruised his hand. And Alvarez wanted to play. But he said, no, I'm going to do what's best for the team and you personally by sitting you out, let you rest, give your hand, taking the bat out of your hand. And he said, you ain't got to work to play. I think he put him on set him out for 4 days. Could have been 5. That made a big difference because he came back on fire. That's where that experience come in of a man who's been in baseball 50 years.
Yeah.
And the other thing that he's got that analytic don't take into consideration, your Latin American players are a little different, and you need to have someone who understands their mood swing. They have issues too, you got me? But you have to have someone who understands their mood change, and there is no one better than Dusty at doing that. And that's why he gets along so well with his players. He loves his players, and they love him.
Let's do this. Let's take a break, and we'll come back. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more of Chopping It Up with Roger Cador.
Expert locksmith at Alfred for all of your residential, commercial, and industrial lock and safe needs. Trusted by Baton Rouge and me, Roger Cador, to protect what is yours since 1946.
All right, we're back with Chopping It Up with Cador. He's Roger Cador. I'm Perry White. Getting this thing going. We having a interesting off-camera conversation, man. You know, we brothers, we got to stick together, Coach. We got to stick together.
Yeah. We got to stick together. We got a young brother running the machine back here, running the table for us. Without him, we can't be on TV.
We can't be on here, man. So we appreciate you, what you're doing. We all learning each other. And so as we learn each other, we all have our ways and our vision in terms of how we see things. So we're basically getting our chemistry together. And that's one thing about a team. When you talk about teamwork, you as a coach, you know, it's when you start off early, sometimes chemistry ain't quite there, but it takes time to build it up. And what are we seeing when we talk about the MLB playoffs? Are you seeing some teams that seem like they're still trying to get chemistry together, especially when you talk about a team like the Mariners, who had not made the playoffs for so long, then getting in here? Sometimes the playoffs can be a different place, a different playground for a lot of these guys.
Well, they did well because they beat Toronto in the first, round. But you're the juggernaut of the Astros. The Astros are doing so many little things well. They're not the team that's doing a whole lot of stuff. They're doing all the little things that it takes to win. Getting hits with 2 out, getting that runner on with 2 out when nobody on base, and end up scoring. Fouling off tough pitches, relief pitches coming out of the bullpen, getting the job done. All of those little things add up to victory. And when you look at them, they're the least aggressive. I don't want to say aggressive. They're the least team when you look at the impressive team in terms of when you look at the position players. You're not going to get great numbers from first base, not as short, not in center field, not behind the plate. I mean, you got a lot of areas the DH ain't giving them anything, but they're still winning. And that's what Dusty is doing a fantastic job working around the analytic part of it, because he's got about 4 guys in this lineup he can depend on to be able to give him some offensive production.
Let's talk about the game tonight. Yankees and the Guardians. First pitch at 7 o'clock. Game will be on TBS. And then tomorrow, you're going to have the Phillies and the Padres. That game is going to be on Fox Sports 1. When you look at Phillies, Padres, and then this last game possibly with the Yankees and Guardians, let's start with the game tonight. What do you think about the Yankees so far against the Guardians and how Cleveland has been able to fight themselves and keep it stay in this series?
I like Cleveland pitching over the Yankees pitching at this starting pitcher in particular. I think that's where Cleveland has an advantage. But the Yankees have an advantage because they're playing in that madhouse in Yankee Stadium. Those fans they're really good fans.
What you call it?
Madhouse. They give you the home field advantage. They're really involved and want their team to win. So I really like the Yankees tonight. I think that the Yankees could be a team that could give Houston some problems. Because they can hit the ball out the park. They got a lot of people can hit the ball out the park. And both of those stadiums, Yankee and Houston, made are small stadiums where a right-hand hitter can shoot the ball to right field, and that's a home run easy. And the left-hand hitter can shoot it to left field, and the ball is out the park. So the Yankees have a lot of people can swing and get the ball out the park. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Cleveland is a team that ain't going to go away. They're going to fight to the end. Terry Francona is a great manager. I like his games this time, game management skill. He knows how to make good decisions.
And let's talk about tomorrow, Phillies and the Padres. Tuesday, first pitch, 8:03. What you like about this matchup? I've been a fan of the Phillies on and off, but I would have to probably go as the favorite for the Phillies in this game against San Diego. What about you?
I would say you never would say never, but San Diego's come a long way. When you look at where they had to dig themselves out, they played 20 times against the Dodgers, 19, and the Dodgers beat them 15 times. and they were able to come out. I think they're scraping again. They're getting production from people that you normally don't get production. Grisham, for instance, hitting in the 8 or 9 hole, has hit 3 home runs, all crucial home runs, and they've been able to get crucial hit from key people.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that San Diego has a chance against Philly. Philly's got 3 or 4 guys can hit the ball out of the park also. A small park in Philly. I think they're going to start the series in San Diego based upon records, because that's who gets to play home first if your record is better than the other. So
yeah, that game would be in San Diego.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I like San Diego.
So you going San Diego?
Yes, sir. You taking Philly?
Yeah, I'm taking Philly, and I like San Diego because what they were able to do to get past the Dodgers. That's no easy feat,
Right.
but it's something about Philly that I just feel like I'm a rock with this one, and maybe it's just because I figured you was gonna say the Padres. Okay, we got to be on different. I can't jump on the same team now. Okay,
You got Bryce Harper who can do some damage and get them going. So Phyllis is not bad, and they got 2 really good, Wheeler and Nola, 2 really good starting pitchers.
let's jump over. Did you watch any college football this weekend, or was you just all you were MLB
Let's
out?
see. I must have watched some college football. I think I did. Let me see. I didn't watch a whole game, so I must have watched a couple of plays with Penn State and Michigan. I must have watched 4 or 5 plays.
That game, I bet on FanDuel.
Yeah.
Maybe need to get them as a sponsor since I'm talking about them. FanDuel online betting. Y'all paying attention? Get with us, all right? My parlay was in good shape. Penn State, Michigan, tight game. All of a sudden, second half, Michigan pulls away, wins 41-17. It really let me down. Another game I paid attention to, 2 games. One was Oklahoma State and TCU, of course, over in the Big 12. I like Oklahoma State. They've always traditionally had offense, be able to play some good ball. But TCU seems to be a team on the roll right now. TCU was able to get the victory 43-40. But I think the upset was Alabama and Tennessee. Did you watch this game?
I must have watched a few plays.
Number 3 versus number 6. Alabama battles back. Alabama's kicker misses a possible chance to win the game late in the 4th quarter, but Tennessee's kicker kicks a field goal 52-49. The Tennessee fans at Neyland Stadium rush the field, tear down the goalpost, take it outside the stadium. Absolute amazing when you talk about college football atmosphere, when you talk about college sports, and when you see the fans and the love for that game. Probably one of the best games of the year, if not the game of the year when you look at what was on the line. But I'm very impressed with Tennessee. I like everything about them in terms of their offense. I like their quarterback as well. Bryce Young played for Alabama in this ball game. But Hooker, Tennessee's quarterback, Hendon Hooker, 6'4", 218-pound quarterback from Greensboro, North Carolina, went 21 of 30 for 385 yards, 5 touchdowns. 1 interception. It's never an easy day to beat Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide, but Alabama hurt themselves a little bit in this game. But when you look at Alabama falling, sometimes does it get people when you see, and I know your years of coaching, you've seen teams that roll so much, it almost seemed like it's impossible for them to lose. But then when they do lose, everybody's like, it must be the end of the world.
Oh, let's hope it's not the end of the world. I tell you what, that was an expensive tearing down of the goalpost. I see.
Yeah.
$100,000.
Yeah.
The SEC is fining Tennessee.
That's a little money to Tennessee. That's a little money.
But they're asking people to pay for it.
I'm sure that should be easy, especially with Coach winning that game. Donors are probably lining up Monday morning today saying, Coach, what you need?
And did they throw it in the river? Did they throw the goalpost in the river?
I don't know if they threw it in the river. I got to check. I just saw the last video I saw. They was literally carrying it out the stadium.
I've seen this happen before, but they've really cracked down on that type of activity.
Yeah.
Because it's dangerous.
Yeah, when that goalpost, once it breaks from people bouncing and jumping, whoever's under, you catch the brunt of that. And a goalpost, if nobody's ever been under one, is a big, heavy object, especially once gravity takes over.
It's just so dangerous.
Yeah.
And to have them come on the field where the players are, you have to protect. Actually, that's why the fine is so heavy, is that they have to protect the student athlete also,
Mm-hmm.
and all of the workers. So we're happy to see fans enjoy victory, but you got to stay off that field.
Yeah, you do.
You got to stay off the field. It's just so dangerous. But I've seen it happen, and then times are different.
I've rushed the field a couple times in my day. Yeah.
You look like the type that rush the field.
I've rushed the field. I've rushed the court. I'm that fan. When I get excited and I'm there for a big victory, yeah, I'm with that. I'm all about that.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to put something on your legs. Some change. We're not letting you rush the court in the field anymore, man.
And I know they have new technology. Some stadiums with the goalpost, before the fans can get down to even tear it down, they got it where they can just gently let it down real quick before the fans jump on the goalpost. Yeah. So some stadiums do have that technology. Other games that took place, another one that I paid attention to, a lot of people may not have, it was a Sun Belt game. James Madison, who was in FCS last year, came up to FBS. Undefeated coming into this week, 5-0, ranked in the top 25 for the first time. So their first year in FBS, and they were able to get into the FBS top 25, but they fell short to Georgia Southern 45-28. Clemson winning 34-28, a close game against Florida State. One of the best games I saw over the weekend. It was a late night game, of course. It was West Coast. USC, number 7 versus Utah, number 20. This was a battle for the Pac-12. Of course, USC undefeated coming into this game, played good football up until this point, but Utah found a way to get it done, winning 43-42. And Kentucky and Mississippi State. Kentucky has been a team. They lost to Ole Miss last week, so a lot of people was like, okay, is this team really good or not? But Coach Stoops got them back on track against Mississippi State and Mike Leach. Mississippi State whooped up on my boys last week. The Razorbacks of Arkansas beat them 40-17. So I thought maybe they could be for real a little bit, but Kentucky ultimately got the victory. Number 22, Kentucky won 27-17. Syracuse beats North Carolina State 24-9. Georgia just completely just wipes Vanderbilt off the map. But Vanderbilt got them in the books, though. How about that? You're not going to outsmart them when it comes to the books. But on that football field, it's a different story. Vanderbilt losing 55-0. Illinois finding a way. Brett Bielema used to be the coach at Wisconsin, and Arkansas found a way to get it done 26-14. Texas get it done 24-21. Kansas was a surprise team as well. Number 19, Kansas took on Oklahoma. Oklahoma back on stride again, getting a 10-point victory, 52-42. And Ole Miss, 48-34 over Auburn. Auburn is a team struggling. I'll be surprised if their coach still around at the end of the season. But, anybody right now, when you look at Alabama's taking a loss. Tennessee is probably going to elevate and come up. But for you, Coach, man, any surprises so far in college football this year for you?
Not that surprising. Teams are doing what I thought they would.
Mm-hmm.
I felt Alabama, when Bryce Young got hurt, it would cause them to stumble a little.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think everything is playing out.
Let's look over into the SWAC, Southwestern Athletic Conference. You know something about the SWAC, I'm sure, huh?
A little.
Yeah. What Deion say?
I am SWAC. I am SWAC. Now let's go get some shirts and sell them.
Say it one more time for him, Coach.
I am swag. I want to go get some shirts and sell them. Just like Jackson State did. They sold out on those hoodies.
Hey, he is swag. Let's go through the swag. Florida A&M going on the road to Grambling. Florida A&M getting a victory in the hole, 20-16. Alabama State, Mississippi Valley. Coach Vincent Dancy up at Mississippi Valley goes on the road, takes on Eddie Robinson Jr., who said he ain't swag, right? He said Deion ain't swag. I am swag. All right, they get the victory, 24-9.
Who won?
Against Alabama State and Valley. Alabama State got the victory 24-9. Jackson State went on the road, played a game in Jacksonville, Florida against Bethune-Cookman. Coach Deion Sanders got the victory over Coach Terry Sims. Jackson State 48-8, dominating victory. And then Alabama A&M and UAPB, a game that was originally scheduled to be played in St. Louis this past Sunday. Game got canceled in St. Louis due to some issues with the promoter. They moved the game to Pine Bluff. Alabama A&M and Coach Connell Maynard get the victory over UAPB 34-31. And of course, the big game that I was at this weekend, and when I say I rush a field, this was when I was ready to rush the field because it ain't often Southern beats Alcorn. And Southern and Alcorn took on each other this weekend, and Southern finding a way to get it done 21-17. Congratulations to Coach Eric Dooley and the Southern University Jaguars getting it done right now. They're in the top position in the SWAC West. If Jackson State wins, Jackson State has a tough game this weekend against Campbell, who had the second best recruiting class in FCS right behind Jackson State. And they'll be playing them for Jackson's homecoming. If Jackson wins this game and Southern wins his homecoming this weekend, you're talking about a big matchup next week, October the 29th, between Jackson and Southern up in Mississippi, of two teams coming in on winning streaks, which I'm pretty sure is going to have the interest of a lot of people, especially two fan bases who I think are perhaps the best, some of the best in college football, but especially on the FCS level. But it's homecoming at Southern University as well.
Well, before we get to that, we're going to have some suspension.
Whoa,
coming
talk to
on this today. This SWAC will announce some suspension from the Prairie View Southern fight that they had.
So we got breaking news. Breaking news. Coach Roger Cador with the breaking news. Fill us in, Coach.
There'll be some suspension going on, so I expect it to be announced at any time, probably before noon. The SWAC will announce the suspension of some players from Southern and Prairie View. And so that, I don't know who that team, Lynchburg, Virginia State, what kind of program they have, but I'm sure Southern will be without some of their players.
Unfortunately, Virginia Lynchburg, to the point, Coach, I think you and I could go out and have a good game this weekend.
Well, I wouldn't say that because I don't know anything about them.
I'm telling you about them. Virginia Lynchburg is they're the team. They're everybody's homecoming. Unfortunately, you want to put respect to them, but they're everybody's homecoming. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
So they're an up and coming program, but they just haven't quite gotten the pieces there.
How long they been playing football?
I think about 5 years now.
Okay.
So, they're a program where they go out and play the tough games to make the money. Unfortunately, you got to get beat up on, but, you see the bigger picture down the road when you talk about bringing in money. Suspensions couldn't have came at a better time. Would not have wanted that against Alcorn this past week for Southern, but to be able to get it against Virginia Lynchburg, basically let your guys rest, which you was going to probably do anyway, and then bring them back for the big showdown, of course, against Jackson State. I think that's the one everybody's going to be watching. You're going to have to come up to Mississippi. Can we get you up with your hat, too? I need that.
I'm not going to be in Jackson. Man, I'm not going to Jackson.
You gonna let it? I'll go for you.
I know you're going.
I'll be there.
Yeah, that's a tough 3-hour drive.
Yeah.
Jackson. When I was coaching out, it was always, a little tough, 2.5 to 3 hour drive,
Always had a pretty decent baseball program as well, huh?
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
I mean, since when I was a student athlete in the 70s, all through, now the makeup of the kind of ball they played changed with the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
Umar Johnson played a little different brand of baseball than Robert Braddock did. But, boy, did they have some players.
Well, let's do this. Let's take another break because we're going to come back and we're going to be on the back side of the show. So let's take a break, pay some bills, and we'll be right back with Chopping It Up with Cador. He's Roger Cador, and I'm Perry White. All right, we're back with Chopping It Up with Cador. He's Roger Cador. I'm Perry White. Now he got everybody calling me PJ. All right, this is what it is. I guess that's what it's going to be.
Boy, isn't that a nice name?
That's my son, PJ. I'm Perry Sr. My son is Perry Jr. Coach, it's homecoming. We talked about it. I'm big on homecomings because I love homecomings. It's something about the atmosphere. You a Southern alum. I'm a Southern alum. So we're some alums, all right? We alumni, okay? Man, you know, when you talk about homecomings, how does it feel when you get an opportunity to see old friends and as well as old student athletes of yours that come back and relive, and then you get to see them grow up. They come back with families. They talk about their careers. How special is that as a coach when you're able to go around and see that?
Well, you know, that's some of the things that I talk to my players about when I'm coaching them, that one day they would graduate, go into the workforce, become real good citizens in the community, be head of household, fathers, husbands. And I said, you'll come back your family and you'll show them some of the things we accomplished while at Southern. That's why pictures tell a story, you know. And I've been big on for years trying to, if I tell people, let's make sure we put pictures up so when they come back with their family, they can show them that they were an intricate part of making this university better than what it used to be.
I love it because of the festive atmospheres, the people, the good time, the food, the parades, the game itself. But most important, yeah, and just getting a chance to meet people and see people that you. And one of the funniest things, it'd be people that you can't quite remember their name, but they remember your name. They be like, "Hey, Perry, how you doing?" I be like, "Oh, what's going on? I can't quite put your name together, but." You look familiar, but I'm sure that happens to you all the time. There's a lot of people that know you that you don't quite really know them.
I don't know them at all. Not quite, you know, but they do it all along. And now I'm saying, hey, you know me, tell me your name. So you know who I am. I said, really, I don't. Tell me, you know. So I have to pull names out of some people.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but it's good. I want to know who they are, and I want to have a brief conversation with them. As it relates to parades, PJ, I'm not going nowhere near a parade.
Man, you got to be like the Grand Marshal or something. They got to put you in that convertible, and you get your, you know, can they see my hand? There you go. You gotta curve that thing. You gotta, yeah, you like that. That's how you gotta do it.
I'm not.
And throw you some candy.
I'm not big on parades.
You don't like the parades? Too many people? Too much noise?
Yeah. Well, you know, the last parade I went to, and I remember it quite. 1976.
Wait, you haven't been to a parade since 1976?
Went to the Mardi Gras parade with my sister in New Road. I was about to leave the next day to go to spring training.
Okay. Did you make it?
What?
You made it to spring training?
Yeah.
Because I know a Mardi Gras parade in New Roads will have you missing spring training. That's a good time over there.
Listen, by 1 o'clock I was home, I think. We went early and so I made it. And I remember this distinctness, that it was 1976. Hadn't been back since.
No Mardi Gras for you. Wow.
I'm not, I don't expect people to be like me. There are people who love parade, like you love parade.
I don't love them.
You like them.
Yeah, I enjoy a good time because I like Mardi Gras. I like the festive atmosphere. Gives me a reason to drink and have a good time if you just want me to be real. That's what I like, to have a drink and a good time. And when people having good time with me, I enjoy that. I like good times.
This is why you're good for this show.
Why is that?
You are able to let it all hang out. You're able to be frank and courteous and let people know that you enjoy drinking and you just want to have a good time.
I'm no saint,
but you're really good for the show.
Thank you.
I'm not as bold as you are.
I live in South Louisiana now, and what I've realized, why people ask me all the time, man, you haven't moved from there yet? I said, man, they find a reason to drink for everything, and there's always good food everywhere I go. And beautiful women. So between the beautiful women, the good food, and the reason to drink, it's just any festival. They just come up with anything to throw a festival here in South Louisiana and have drinks. So I love it. It's a good time, and when people have a good time, genuine fun, that's what really attracts me. And I think another thing is sports is huge here. People really hone in on the sports and they celebrate the sports. When it's a Saturday, it's like a holy obligation. You know, you're going to Southern or you're going to LSU. On Sunday, if the Saints in town, you know you're going down to New Orleans. It is a holy obligation to go have a good time. And hey, don't tempt me with a good time, Coach, because I'm going to have one with you.
Well, I really admire you for that because, like I said, you know, I'm old school type of guy now. I've done this, been there, and all of that. So, crowds, I don't like crowds anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like crowds anymore. So, but it doesn't mean that I love it when people have a good time, when they're happy. See, I can be happy not having a good time. I've had my days in the sun.
You had your days in the sun.
I mean, I've done a lot of stuff in my life, and I've been in a lot of places. And so it's good. It's all good.
And I'm like you. I feel one day, I've always tell people I feel like I'm having my retirement. I love the Tampa Bay area. Tampa is one of my favorite places to go. Clearwater Beach, that area. And last time I went, I rented a boat for like 4 hours and took it out around the bay and everything. And so I said, you know what? This is probably what I'm going to do once my son gets out of college and he's good in life and started his family and I'm tired of all the partying and hanging out. I'm just going to sit on the beach for the rest of my days, have my little beer or my little drink, hopefully got a beautiful lady to my side. I'm just going to sit there and watch the sun and watch the water and go fishing, man. That's what I want to do. And go travel and go see some things. But I always just, you know, I'm like what you said. I've had my fun. I look back, no regrets. It is what it is. But now it's just time to relax and chill out. Plus, I'm getting older. I'm 33, but I realize I can't do all that walking no more. It feels good to sit down and kick your feet up now. I used to be able to walk all day, every day. I'm ready to get home and get to a couch these days after a couple of hours.
You know, the one thing I like about my travel over the years in this Latin America and Central and South America is unspoiled. There's still a lot of areas that hadn't been spoiled, and it's natural. You know what I'm saying? And the people, they live off the land. Once you get outside the cities, they live off the land, and that is beautiful. I've gone in Puerto Rico. I've eaten at a restaurant. Was there, and the guy said, hey, let's stop on a place on the side of the road, dirt floor, you know. Just the food was outstanding. And those are the kind of things that you miss in America. You're not going to find that in America. Probably couldn't pass
the health inspection.
The health inspection.
I had a previous boss, funny story. He loves Chinese food. So a lot of people don't want to go to a Chinese food that looked. He said, man, I like to go to the dirty Chinese food. I need to be in there where the seat is busted in the middle. That means the food is good. Enough people to sit down, they didn't bust the seat to eat. So that stuck with me for a long time. He said, man, I like the dirty Chinese spots, man. The seat busted, that means that's a good place. With the seat all good, ain't nobody sitting down eating in there.
That's interesting.
Now, this place wouldn't pass a health inspection. You probably don't want to see the reviews, but hey, people eat the food, you know. So, to what you're saying, that I just thought that would be funny to add that in with that.
I've had it, you know. And one thing I do, I try to eat the local food whenever I go to a certain country.
Is it ever too rich for you?
No.
Because when I first got to Louisiana, that etouffee was a little too rich for me. I had to ease into the etouffee and all that other stuff. That first week, it was, whoa.
A lot of, you know, what you find out in Latin, Central, and South America is a lot of people like you and I. And they ain't much different with the culture of cooking. You got me?
That's right.
That's why I love the local. You know, because you get close.
Put some seasoning on that thing.
Well, they don't put a lot of seasoning. They don't. I've never had anything.
Like they not like Louisiana, huh?
For instance, in Colombia, they can't handle the seasoning as much.
Really?
Yeah, their taste bud ain't gonna handle it.
Is it a little bit blander?
They're a little blander, but the food is good.
Okay.
In Colombia, the Italian food is as good as it gets. I like the Italian food in Colombia.
Yeah, I love Italian food. I'm a linguine eating dude.
Yeah. I know we got off the subject of what we're supposed to be, but this is what a podcast is about.
When you talk about food, you got me. All right. I eat food all day, every day. I love food. I didn't get this dad bod from nowhere, okay? This dad bod right here came from a lot of good meals. And I cook.
You don't know how to cook in Arkansas. You did the right thing.
Luckily I can cook for myself. Now, one thing they can do in Arkansas, see how you going to jab me right quick? Try to jab me right quick. You can get some good fried catfish.
That's right.
And you can get a turkey leg. I don't know if turkey leg and a fried
turkey leg, but I had fried catfish in Pine Bluff. Really good.
You can get some good fried catfish and a turkey leg. So I will get them that and some barbecue. Now, I don't trust barbecue in South Louisiana. Everybody said, man, this place is good, that place is good. I don't trust it, but if it come out of a pot, hey, put it on my plate. I know you're gonna be able to boil better than anybody. And now when I go other places, I went to this place in Little Rock one time with my mom, and she was like, "Well, we're going to get seafood." All right, cool. So I've been in Louisiana. I've watched how people boil. I've been a part of many crawfish boils and festivals and turkey necks and neck bones, and I've just seen how the pot's supposed to go. I seen all the things that it's like a witch with her broom. You're just dumping all of this stuff like you're making a potion, right? So we go to this place in Arkansas, and she's telling me, okay, this place is really good, line around the corner. And I'm sitting there. Now I got this Louisiana mindset when it comes to boiling. They're boiling the food in the water with nothing in it, just the water. They take it out, drain it, and then just slap your mama's seasoning over it after. I said, Mom, we need to leave right now. I will not allow you to eat that. That is a disgrace in Louisiana. All that goes in the pot beforehand, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now when I go places, that's what I judge it off of. Now, when I see people talk about seafood, you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
You got to refer it back to Louisiana. And that's what I've learned here in Louisiana, how to properly boil things. Everywhere else, they're not boiling nothing. They just putting it in hot water and calling it a day.
That's it.
Yeah, so I love food, man. In Arkansas, you get you some good catfish. But every time you call me, what I'm doing, I'm either eating or cooking something, huh?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I do, man. That's what I do.
No problem.
What is your favorite dish to cook?
I like cooking gumbo.
You can cook some real good gumbo?
Yeah.
I still don't understand what a roux is.
Well, my sister taught me how to make the roux. Take you some flour with a black skillet pot. Put the flour in the pot and stick it in your oven.
You sure you want to give these people your recipe?
Well,
you sure?
I'm not.
Okay, all right, let's go. Put it in the oven.
Put it in the oven and let it get really as brown as you want. That's what's gonna make your roux. Make sure you don't put anything in that in the flour.
Is yours a thicker roux?
I don't make thick. I like the thinner.
Okay.
I don't do mine where it's thick. I do mine where it's thin. So that's how I do mine. I don't buy all that other. I just make my own.
What do you add in yours? I know the whole concept of gumbo, basic, whatever you got, you throw it in.
It depends. If I do seafood, I'll do seafood, and I'll do manda sauces, which I like, and I'll do dry shrimp. And if I get really creative, I'll get some chicken gizzard and really cook it down where it's really soft and put in there.
See, I bet these people didn't even know you can cook. See, they finding out about you. This is what happened when you get to chop it up with Roger Cador. You find out he can actually cook some gumbo, and it's cooling off, Coach. So with it cooling off, I know you're going to fix a pot. I'll like a bowl if you don't mind.
I'll take care of you.
I appreciate that. Now, are you one of those people? I know in South Louisiana, some people put potato salad in their gumbo. You don't do that? You ain't that potato salad gumbo guy?
No.
That's disgusting, sound like, isn't it?
Yeah, too good. Disgusting. No, I'm not that kind of guy.
Y'all like gumbo. Can you cook etouffee?
I don't mess with etouffee.
Okay.
I've never cooked it. I do cook spaghetti and meat.
Do you do them together now? That's another thing I noticed here.
I don't do it together. What I do, I get my ground meat. That's really it's probably of a wild, like a deer sausage meat.
Okay.
And I cook it up really good. Then I put my sauce in there and get it really ready. And then I boil my spaghettis to get ready.
So when you make it, you pour the spaghetti noodles and then you put your sauce. You don't put them together.
Never together. Only when it's time to eat.
Okay. See, I do mine together. I make my ground beef first. Then I put my sauce on it. cook it within the sauce.
Yeah.
And then I boil my noodles. I put my noodles out, and then once everything cooks, I put it together, throw some cheese in that thing, mix it up, and I put a little sugar. A lot of people don't like that. I put a little sugar on my sauce. It kind of, because you know that tomato could be a little tart sometimes. That sugar kind of balance it out. I don't make it sugary, but I throw just a little bit in there to balance that out right there. You know,
it's what you want. That's the beauty of it.
Now, one thing I'm gonna say this before we get ready to go. People in South Louisiana has a misconception about macaroni. Now, I've been many places around, and their concept of macaroni is the long string with cheese in it. That's cheese spaghetti. That ain't macaroni. Do you agree or disagree?
I don't eat it. So
You don't eat macaroni?
I hadn't had it in many years.
I'll make you some macaroni. You're not lactose intolerant, are you?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we'll find out when I make some macaroni. I make good macaroni, Coach. You got to try it. I'm a macaroni lover. I like all the pasta, so yeah.
Well, good. We had a good day today.
We did have a good day. We're talking about food because I talk about food all day. We need a food sponsor, too. Somebody out there that's a food sponsor, come on in and sponsor the show. We need FanDuel because we talk about sports betting. Maybe we can add that to be a part of a show.
You go get them.
I could try. Hopefully, I'm trying right now. They need to listen. We're going to take this and send it to them. And we need a food spot. We need a restaurant to come in and help feed us on lunch on Mondays when we get done. Because when we get done, it's about lunchtime. So we can say, hey, look at this nice meal today, this gumbo. All right? Maybe you be our food sponsor, Coach.
Okay.
That's a no. Well, thank everybody for joining us today. Of course, be sure to follow Roger Cador on all his social media, Facebook as well as Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook at Perry White, on Instagram, where is Perry. He's Roger Cador on Facebook and on Instagram, and be able to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Chopping It Up with Cador. Subscribe is free. I can't say that enough. All you got to do is hit that little button right there and subscribe and share it with everybody. Let them know what we're doing. We're growing here. This is episode 4, and each week we continue to grow more and more, and we talk about that chemistry. And I think we're starting to get that even more. My man back on the board. Hey, we're growing with him too, all right? So we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Shout out to Aaron. We know, Aaron, you watching it too. Shout out to Aaron for us, Coach.
Come on, Aaron. We know you're doing it, girl. Get that information out. We having a good time. I'm trying to get my car down.
There you go. All right, well, come on, Coach. Give him the out. As we get ready to get out, everybody, thank y'all for joining us. You got to put it on Coach, man. He gonna give him that 1-2, that Sammy Sosa. There you go. Look at and we out just like that. Catch y'all later.
We got a big delay.